7 phases of elections are done, and now we're just waiting for the results. And the ET team actually has traveled through the country, and we have with us a bunch of reporters who have traveled across various parts of the country for the past month or so. And we would just like to bring to you what they think about it. The exit polls are out, the results are still awaited. I would like to start from Anshuman. Anshuman, you've traveled extensively in UP. One factor we've seen is that in UP, the exit poll results are totally strange. Some are giving them 60 to the BJP, some are giving the same number to Mahagathbandhan. What makes UP such a difficult state to predict, even for an exit poll of such scientific nature?
Look, 2014 was an election where we could see the BJP wave on the ground, and no other party was in as good contest as BJP was there. In 2019, what has happened is that consolidation is taking place on both sides. Like if you say in Mahagathbandhan, Yadav, Jato plus Muslims are coming together. On the other side also, upper caste plus non-Yadav OBC plus MBC, they are coming together. Since consolidation is very strong on both sides, it is very difficult to say that which party is gaining how much, because the contest is very tight. I'm sure on every seat the contest will be really tight. It won't be one-sided as it was in 2014. But because of that tight contest, and also I was talking to some of these exit polls, these pollsters, and they are saying that most of these surveys are urban biased. They have an urban bias. There are people in some places who speak, there are people who don't speak based on your sample size, so things vary, especially in such a tight contest where both sides have a good lot of good vote share on their side to start with. It's really difficult to predict on which side things are going.
So you have traveled to many constituencies in this area. I mean, as a reporter also, have you found it difficult to actually understand who's voting, the pattern? Is it easy to figure out?
No, if you divide it on the caste line, it is very clear. I mean, in my reporting, when I traveled through Yadav land, Bundelkhand, parts of eastern UP, a lot of people say that Yadavs were breaking away from Samajwadi Party and moving towards BJP, or Jatovs also at some places were breaking away. But I could not notice that in my reporting. So that's why I'm saying that the consolidation of caste equation was on both sides. Similarly, Lodhs, MBCs, Nonia voters, Rajbhars, all these voters which came to BJP during 2014, they're still very much intact with the BJP. So that's why I'm saying it was a very tight contest, and it's not that something was shifting drastically from this side to that side. Both parties or both leading parties who were in contest, they knew that what their voter strength is to be, and they tried to come out with that, like Samajwadi Party or BSP, they gave tickets to different caste apart from their equation, so that they could bring in some other caste votes. Similarly, about the BJP, they also tried to just go into their vote share of Samajwadi Party and BSP. How much it will come, and that will be the results they will see. But one thing I'm sure that the victory margin should not be very high like it was in 2014.
Going down south from Uttar Pradesh, CL Merge, you have traveled a lot for us down south. Again, the exit polls, which you can't really predict if the data is correct or not, but it shows more or less, except for Karnataka, BJP is not doing very well down south. How do you see this? And how do you see the Congress's fare, and how will they fare well in the south?
See, in the BJP, as far as the South India is concerned, like rest of the countries, like North, West, and even now East, southern countries was part of the traditional weak point of the BJP. Except Karnataka. Karnataka is the only southern state that BJP has come to rule so far. So there I expect them to make some kind of headway, even though the Congress and JDS are in government there. There generally people expect BJP to do a reasonably good performance in Karnataka. Whereas in Andhra and Telangana, even when they were united, Andhra Pradesh, BJP was very weak there, except in Secunderabad city. So therefore, now in Andhra and Telangana, BJP was not expected to do anything great in this election, and most of the exit polls also show that kind of a trend. In Kerala is one southern state. This time the BJP made a lot of efforts this time, especially after the Sabarimala temple row. So they spent a lot of energy, resources in Kerala, and there are at least 3 seats where the BJP candidates' performance are being closely watched. One, of course, in Trivandrum. In Kerala, Trivandrum was one traditional seat the BJP had scored more than 1 lakh votes many years ago. And last election, Shashi Tharoor could just scrape through by 10,000 votes. And it's not the left, that is the BJP that came second. So this time, Kumanam Rajashekaran is brought. He was a governor in the northeast. He resigned and came. He was the former state BJP president. And he and Shashi Tharoor fight in Trivandrum is considered to be one of the closest, where everybody is keeping their fingers crossed to know what exactly the final outcome. And then there is another constituency called Pathanamthitta. That is exactly the district where the Shabarimala temple is located. And that is where the maximum impact of Shabarimala dispute or agitation, where the BJP led the agitation took place. So there they have fielded one Surendran, who was one guy among the top state BJP leaders who was arrested and put in the jail for about a month. So he was brought as a candidate. And there he is giving a big fight against both the left and UDF in a constituency which majority may be Christian community. So how it plays out, whether they will be able to have a polarization there, one has to see. And also in Trichur, where the leading film star Suresh Gopi, who is a nominated member of Rajya Sabha, who is identified with BJP, his entry, though he was the last candidate to be announced, he created a lot of attraction in the constituency, especially among the women folk. So how much vote he will carry and how it will have an impact on the UDF left candidates are being watched. Then in Tamil Nadu, this time, as always, they always align with either DMK or AIDMK. This time they have chosen the ruling AIDMK because DMK is with the Congress. Tamil Nadu has this tradition of every election giving a one-way traffic. You know, it's like 39 out of 39 like that. But this time, most of the opinion polls said it's not going to be a one-way traffic. Maybe the DMK is still ahead. Maybe some people said 20 or 30, but I think that was the impression people say, that even now AIDMK may pick up some seats. And maybe because of AIDMK backing, maybe the BJP may be in a position to win or at least be in the reckoning for one or two states. For example, in Coimbatore and Kanyakumari, these are the two seats the BJP is looking forward. We have a sitting MP already from there who is a minister there. So southern states, BJP may not be a very important force. Whatever they get from the south will be more of a bonus. Their focus, of course, will be on north, west, and of course they are trying to make an inroads in Bengal, Orissa, and eastern part. So southern part, therefore, is very important for the Congress, because whatever they may lose in other part, they may have to balance it out in south. But the problem of Congress in south this time is that Andhra Pradesh used to be their strongest state. It was like UPA 1 and UPA 2. The maximum states seats came from Andhra Pradesh under YSR. So that after the bifurcation, Congress has completely collapsed. So people are just now from that kind of a high, now the debate or curiosity is whether Congress will open the account in Telangana or Andhra Pradesh. So that's the problem. This Andhra and Telangana is the weakness of Congress in the south, just as south is the weakness of BJP if you look at the all India picture.
Very, very interesting. And to move on from the south to the heart of the country, that's Delhi. We have Anchal. Anchal, you've also covered Delhi for a while and you've been moving around on the constituencies. What do you think is going to happen here? You know, it's a very interesting case. BJP seems to be ahead amongst all polls, but at the same time, you have a state government which is going to come up for election very soon. How does that play out in the coming days?
I expect it to be a fiercer battle next year. I mean, this year actually, because it's going to play out as a similar situation. You will have the BJP, which is stronger. Then you have the state government, which is going to be there to defend its turf. We've seen a whole history of a 5-year history of a very acrimonious sort of a relationship between Kejriwal and the BJP at the center. So he's clearly going to defend his turf very carefully. And then you have the Congress, which is trying to revive itself in the city. Depending on that, a similar situation will play out in the state election. So and the Congress and AAP have the same vote bank. So they will fight and Kejriwal has already started going on the offensive. If you see his interviews, he has attacked the Congress during the election, he's attacked the Congress for siding with the BJP. He's also been attacking Mr. Modi. So depending on the results, considering the BJP is already ahead, they have the 7 seats that they have in the city. it will be a fiercer battle.
And in terms of, you going around and meeting people, what differences do you see in what are people voting for in the state elections and in the Lok Sabha elections? Is there a different narrative by parties also?
See, the Congress and the AAP have tried to contest this election on local issues. The BJP has banked on Modi ever since 2014. Then you had the 2017 municipal elections. The BJP won that election. I mean, AAP was actually pushed to the third position. And even then, they pushed the Modi image that they kind of bank on. They're doing it again here. So so you can see that these two sides playing on local issues and the bigger picture. And if the bigger picture wins, then you kind of see. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out in the assembly this time, because in the municipal elections, the BJP won on the Modi factor. So it depends on how it works out now. Plus, you have AAP and Congress fighting for the same voter bank. So they will not, there was this alliance talk that eventually failed or didn't take off. So it's going to be an interesting thing to say.
To take a question on the Congress government and what the Congress party and what it is doing, ever since they started the campaign and through the campaign, they never really felt like they're going to be the majority party. They've never, I think, done the campaign that they will form the government. Where did that leave the Congress going ahead? They have state elections coming in. They're in power, precariously in power in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. How do you see that going ahead now after the results come on the 23rd?
See, when we traveled across all these states where the Congress is in power, one thing was very evident. Even when the electorate was voting against the BJP, in November, December 2018, it was very, it was very evident. Voting for a regional leader or a party in the state elections was very different from voting in the Lok Sabha election. So it was very evident that even if they voted for, say, Congress in Rajasthan, the slogan was that was repeated was in the rallies in Rajasthan was that, Vasundhara teri khair nahi, Modi se bair nahi. So it was very evident that these two will anyways work very differently. So when the people showed that difference, that if at the regional level they could vote for the Congress, but at the national level there seemed to be a trust deficit as concerned the central leadership. So people often, when we traveled in these Congress ruled states, there was this strain of thought that center mein to Modi ji hi aane hain. So they, what could he have done in 5 years? So let's give him some more time. Let's give him another 5 years. Now we've got toilets. We've got, all the rural schemes that really worked in the favor of BJP. So he had a track record, which people wanted to, give him another 5 years to improve.
So the one, I've traveled a bit across Punjab and for the elections, and the one thing you see which is different from the campaign of the BJP out in other states is that Modi perhaps is not that big a factor there, than he is in other places. So, in your travels, have you figured out that are there pockets in which the BJP, banks on not just the Modi factor, but on other issues? Is there also a trend you see?
I didn't see it. It was all, there were rallies in Madhya Pradesh where the local MP wasn't that popular, and Mr. Amit Shah has actually gone ahead and said, don't look at what has happened now in the last 5 years, vote in the name of Modi. So people the traction he has with the masses is immense. You cannot, you just can't compare it with any other phenomenon that you've seen. How much of it has worked, how much of it will work, we'll wait for the 23rd to see. I couldn't see anything. But I think the biggest takeaway from this election for the Congress, I feel, is how to fight an election. When you could see the BJP, the way it fought in Bengal, with that fire in the belly, is missing in the Congress. You could see, how else would you explain that Congress hinges its entire campaign on a slogan like Ab Hoga Nyay, and in the first 2 or 3 phases, people just didn't know about the campaign. How can you hinge your entire campaign on one scheme and just almost ignore to popularize that scheme. Not exactly ignore, maybe it was a failure at some level, planning level, but you cannot hinge an entire campaign on one scheme and just don't get that kind of traction, just don't popularize it so much. Even their own leaders in the later phases of elections, in the 4th, 5th, 6th phases when we traveled, even their leaders just mention it, just by the way. It's not as if they are centering on it. Here is a populist scheme that you are promising to the people, 6,000 rupees per month. It's big, but where are the hoardings? Very few of them. Where is the popularity? So the way they have fought, I think a lot needs to be changed there, and on how to fight that election, how to maybe they have done a lot on candidate selection through their apps or through technological interventions. If they have, remains to be seen how effective it is. Maybe we'll get to know on Thursday, but a lot needs to be done on the campaign.
Manoj, will you agree with this? By all measures that we see in the exit polls till now, the Congress could be doing better than last time, but it's nowhere close to what it used to be. So is there time for some soul searching? In states like Punjab, where you have a strong chief minister, perhaps they're doing better than the others. So is there something that has to be done by the Congress, some deep thinking? What is the way ahead for them after this?
See, if you look at in the past performance of Congress when they did very well, there has to be very strong regional state leaders to complement the, central leadership or the Congress High Command, which is actually the Gandhis. So, like you said about Punjab, see, Punjab, why it was perceived that the Prime Minister Modi could not create the same kind of impact as in many other states, because there is Capt. Amrinder Singh. And Amrinder Singh is a persona, he's a regional big face. And number two, look at his historical background. He himself is an army man. So he can claim that, when it comes to Balcott, he could position in such a way, they say that, yes, we will do it, and it's done very well. But same time, we are the border states. We take the hit, so we don't need, there is an all-out war, because end of the day, it is the Punjab borders that will be affected, which actually, touch with the feelings in Punjab. Number two, don't forget, Captain Amrinder Singh is the man who resigned from the Congress party during the Operation Blue Star. So the Sikh sentiments, if no matter how much Agalidal tried to tap it, Amrinder Singh could do that. I mean, he has his own standing on that way, and he has led from the front. Like in Kerala, it is always the state leaders who, there may be Anthony, maybe a Karunakaran, Naum Manchandi, Ramesh Chennithala. But when it comes to the fight against the communists, these people led, and the High Command complimented them. 2004 and 2009, that Andhra victory of Congress, which actually powered the Congress tally, was done by Y.S. Rajashekar Reddy. I mean, he fought from the front. He led a Padayatra, and Sonia Gandhi went, of course, backed him, complimented him. There was Vilasarao Deshmukh in Maharashtra, who complimented along with Sharad Pawar to do that. So today, the weakness of the Congress party is in UP, for example. It reached a stage where, Priyanka Gandhi enters. She will have an attraction because she's new. There is an element of glamour. So there is a crowd coming to see it. But did she or Rahul bring a political content to bring what Congress party lacks in UP? That is a social base. Congress has lost its social base after the Mandal, Kamandal politics to both BJP and to the SP. So if 2004 to 2014, when you are in power at the center, and if you cannot revive UP, when you are in Delhi and you are holding so many other states, what made you think that 6 months before the election, Priyanka Gandhi can enter and spring a magic band? That doesn't happen that way. Bihar, there is all, it depends on Lalu Prasad Yadav, everything, and he was in jail. His son is trying, maybe articulate, but it remains whether, on the one side there is Modi, there is one Nitish Kumar combination, big names, but we don't have such names for the opposite alliance. They may have a arithmetic of caste, whether they have a political chemistry, we don't know. Like Madhya Pradesh, Kamal Nath and Mr. Gehlot in Rajasthan, they are very experienced people, and just after a victory and forming government, the Congress really depend on them to deliver. I mean, the exit polls are saying a story which is even, left many people surprised, but it will be, a lot of onus will be on them. But yet in Rajasthan, a lot of stories were on the ego clashes between the chief minister and the deputy CM. This made it like a comic scene. But one thing I would like to say, except Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi in parts of the country, which is one leader the Gandhis picked up to campaign most of the place, which is Navjot Singh Sidhu. You know, there was a time, long time back in politics when the big leaders, before they address gathering, you bring some local, entertainers to keep the crowd till the big leader comes. In this election, even the Congress leaders privately say, the entertainer replaced the big leaders. If one Navjot Singh Sidhu could campaign in many states, what stopped the Congress from using the collective Congress leadership? There are leaders. So these are the very strange thing. Even Capt. Amrinder Singh said that, since anyway Sidhu has been traveling all over, but he should find some space to travel in campaign in Punjab. And he kept making some statements, almost taking on the chief minister right in the middle of the campaign. What gave him that kind of a confidence? He's a very newcomer into the Congress party. He's a lightweight, but he started by assuming that he will replace Captain Amrinder Singh, which shows that a complete lack of understanding of the Congress party, how it works. So I think, I don't know what would be the result, but whether they do well or not, there is a feeling that probably the Congress has not actually campaigned or used the kind of inbuilt resources they have to the maximum.
Okay, we'll call it quits for now. I think we're going to meet you again on 23rd when the results come in. All of our reporters will be out there talking to you and giving you updates as and when the results come in. Thank you.